Last time I talked to my mom was on my 21st birthday. And yeah, so that was like a while ago. And I called her because my sister called me crying, and she was like, "Mommy says that you don't talk to her because of me." And I was like, "What? That's fucked up. That doesn't even make any sense." And I called her and I basically said, "Mom, the reason I don't talk to you," and I hadn't seen her since I was 18. I said, "The reason I don't talk to you is because it's your way or the highway." My mother's the type of person who's like, she's super religious, and she's like, "Don't take the Lord's name in vain, God damn it, motherfucker, cocksucker." Like, that's my mother. Right. So it's like it's a very like hypocritical, and I was raised my whole life this way, you know, to the point where, like, you know, I was raised Christian my whole life, and then, oh, you know, her best friend of 20 years just convinced her to be Catholic, so now we're Catholic for like 2 months until they get in an argument, and then we go back to being so
not much sincerity.
Yeah, but it was she judged people like super hardcore, and I'm not here to bash my mother. I'm just here to give. I'm just explaining why I don't have a relationship with her. And she's just the type of person that, like I said, it's her way or the highway, from religion to life to this to that. But it's like, you know, I remember when I was 14, I was still a virgin. It was 9th grade, and I had condoms in my backpack. And I didn't really, like me, I'm not the type of person who has sex with a bunch of women. That's just not me. Like, that's gross. Like, I have to have some connection, you know, in a relationship to somebody, even back then as a kid. Anyway, I had these condoms, and she found them, and she was like, "Are we going to talk about, you know, what I found in your backpack?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And she was like, "Condoms." And I was like, "Well, I'm not having sex." And she was like, "Well, you shouldn't have condoms." And I was like, "But what if something happens?" And she's like, "Well, you just don't have sex." And I'm just kind of like, that's not realistic, man. You know, like, wouldn't you prefer I be safe about it and smart about it? So it was with that, along with, you know, the alcoholism, and, you know, she took me out of school to homeschool me for 3 years, and she didn't teach me anything because she drank all night and slept all day, and I was alone, and that's when I super got into skateboarding. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and but the fucked up part is, so my mother, unfortunately, you know, she had dealt with, she'd been raped, sexually assaulted her entire life, molested as a child, and these are things that fuck with you. Now you take that plus drug use, from LSD to you know, alcohol in general, then antidepressants, but mixing antidepressants with alcohol, like on an insane, it's the gnarliest shit. So it's like you have a tortured soul here. But also the gnarliest part is my mom's fucking racist.
I know. I've heard you talking about anecdotes about how your mom is racist.
Yeah, like my mom.
That I find just completely almost fascinating. I'm
multiple times a week, my mother called me a nigger. The craziest shit ever. So, you know, all of her children are from black men. But but it's systemic. You know, she told me a story about how when she was a teenager, 13, 14 years old, she brought a young black man, you know, she was dating a young black man, and her parents were like, "No, like, you know, there's no way that you guys can be together," and blah, blah, blah. And this just really messed her up, because she genuinely was attracted to, you know, strong, beautiful black men. And, but just society, it's something that I've had people be like, "Oh, that doesn't even sound right. Like, you're lying. That doesn't make sense." But it's like, okay, whatever. Imagine growing up and it doesn't make any sense.
Oh, I definitely, yeah. It does make sense in a way. I mean, it fits the character you're describing of the whole package of
it was
person.
It was really gnarly. And the thing that hurt the most, I think, is when I, you know, 15, 16 years old, first started getting into rap and hip hop, using that as a form of expression, to be like, life is hard. Sometimes it's hard dealing with this shit, and she'd be like, "Motherfucker, don't you curse?" And then I'm just like, oh my god, it's just such.
Your brain is just fucking
it's gnarly.
Twisted.
It was so gnarly. But once again, I'm not here to bash this woman. Only paint the picture.
I understand.
What
I mean, it's important. We're, you know,
it is important.